Okay, so I am here to give you the overview of the whole project on knowledge brokering for nature-based solutions in aquaculture transformation in the Asia-Pacific region. So this is in support to the Aquaculture Innovation and Investment Hub. So on behalf of the project team, I will be presenting a brief background on this project. So to start my presentation, just a background on aquaculture transformation, which I mentioned a while ago. So because of the continuous rise in the demand for aquatic foods, fueled by expansion of population, improving economies, urbanization, and the shifts in dietary preferences. So now seafoods is one of the, diets that are considered healthy. So the demand for high quality and safe seafoods is getting higher, especially for most developed countries. So we at the Asia Pacific region is still at the forefront of the aquaculture production, producing around 92% of the world. But we cannot stop there. We still need to continuously let the aquaculture here in the region to grow. So the further growth or sustainable growth is still very essential. So to enhance this productivity, a more intensive approach is necessary, coupled with efforts to address ongoing new challenges to maintain sustainability. So in the aquaculture in the Asia Pacific region, in most countries, the business as usual is no longer applicable or is no longer viable. And it must undergo a transformation towards food systems that are more efficient, more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. So recognizing this need for the aquaculture industry, the network of aquaculture centers in Asia Pacific, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, have formulated an integrated aquaculture transformation agenda. So this agenda aims to assist countries within the region in achieving aquaculture transformation, or in transforming the aquaculture industry in their respective countries. So the NACA agenda to support this aquaculture transformation includes policy stewardship and guidance. So this includes the white paper, development of policy and strategic papers, including the white paper, which was already developed and published on aquaculture transformation, innovation and investment for sustainable intensification and expansion of aquaculture in the Asia and the Pacific region. And part of this white paper, we are developing action guide for implementation of the white paper. And we already developed a regional aquatic organism health strategy, again, through the collaboration with FAO. And we already have the implementation workshop or plans that was held in Qingdao last month, organized by FAO. So here we laid down most of the activities that are that have been identified for the strategy, and a regional technical working group develops some projects that can address some of these recommended strategies for aquatic animal or aquatic organism health. And in the future, we will develop other strategic and policy papers for aquaculture transformation implementation in the region. So also this project is part of that implementation plan for aquaculture transformation. And we use high-level communication, intervention, and collaboration to promote and endorse this white paper. So we have 2 high-level meetings have been undertaken in the past 2 years. So these high-level meetings was intended when we are still developing the white paper. And the second high-level meeting was on the progress of what has been made in the finalization of the white paper. So the third high-level meeting is scheduled next year, April next year, to be held in Shanghai, in China. And that high-level meeting will focus more on the progress of the implementation of the different activities that were identified in the white paper, including this project. So some of the team members from your group will be invited to this high-level meeting in Shanghai to present what has been done with the baseline assessment that you will be doing. Of course, we have the annual NACA Governing Council meeting where we endorse important recommendations, including this white paper, to be officially adopted by the NACA to be an official activity that will be implemented by NACA. So the white paper was officially endorsed by our Governing Council last year when we had our Governing Council in Chiang Mai in Thailand. So the second agenda is innovation and investment. So this is one of the activity here is the establishment of the hub. So we call it Asia Pacific Regional Aquaculture Innovation and Investment Hub, wherein this project will be contributing to that hub. Okay, so this is through collaboration and partnership of public, private sectors, and the government. So and other stakeholders that are involved in the aquaculture value chain. Those that are involved in innovative aquaculture, innovative technologies, nature-based solutions to address these current issues in the aquaculture industry. Third, we have collaboration, cooperation, and partnership. So this is a capacity fostering of NACA centers and partners and extending of NACA network. So we have this, NACA has initiated this NACA, we call it subject-oriented NACA, and one of which is that are ongoing now is the International Artemia Aquaculture Consortium, wherein we are collaborating with Dr. Patrick Sergilius and other experts in the world on Artemia aquaculture and resource management. So NACA is hosting the website for this IAAC, and Simon Wilkinson here is a member of the steering committee. And of course, we have the hub. For monitoring, evaluation, and adaptive learning, we plan to establish this monitoring, evaluation, and adaptive learning system, or ATMS, for aquaculture transformation to monitor the progress, to evaluate the efficiency and effectiveness in terms of production, resource use, environmental performance, socioeconomic outcomes, inclusiveness, and resilience. So we also want to assess what are the impacts of these technologies, of these systems and investment. And we plan to generate data-supported and evidence-based policy recommendations that can feed back to the high-level meeting, to the Governing Council, to the member governments, and other stakeholders involved in the aquaculture. And lastly, it is capacity building. This is a guide on national planning on aquaculture, innovation, and investment, emphasizing investment, showcasing innovations and investment in aquaculture, and facilitate adoption and scale up, including the regional technical forum and the establishment of the hub. And we also plan to have this NACA Aquaculture Academy, which we can offer short-term courses online or webinars online for those that are, source of relevant information for the different aquaculture practices that are happening in the region, or important issues such as health and biosecurity, for example. And we will also promote education networking in all aspects of the aquaculture industry. So this is the white paper that was published and developed on aquaculture transformation. And this white paper translates the principles of Blue Transformation, which is a program of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, into a vision of actions for aquaculture transformation for the region by 2030. So we set a target date that we can have this aquaculture transformation working and fully operational by year 2030. So this white paper defines the aquaculture transformation targets. It specifies the priority areas, action areas, and provides a roadmap for the implementation. So this project is part of the roadmap on how we can implement aquaculture transformation in the region. So this project on knowledge brokering will enhance Aquadap's research impact while helping to foster enabling policies, investments, and markets for socially inclusive nature-based solutions in aquaculture across the Asia Pacific. But again, as what Rebecca mentioned, we still don't have what NBS is. So during the peer learning one, we came up with this definition for our project. That is, this will guide also the country participants on what should be included in their baseline assessment. So we define NBS as innovative aquaculture systems that will address current challenges in aquaculture, including production, diseases, and climate change impacts, among others, towards a more environment-friendly systems and sustainable aquaculture industry. So it will involve the efficient use of available resources. That's why it's called nature-based, proper water and environmental management that will enhance aquatic animal health and welfare and the overall aquaculture production. So for Aquadapt, their definition is based on the IUCN. So it is an actions to protect, conserve, restore, and sustainably manage natural or modified aquatic ecosystems while supporting the cultivation of species for food security and livelihood. So basically, nature-based solution, we consider all our natural resources, how we utilize them, and how we protect them while we produce food through aquaculture. So we need these innovations and other technologies that can really be considered as transforming the aquaculture industry in the region. So all of these are connected: the nature-based solution, aquaculture transformation, and for sustainable production of aquaculture. So the objectives of this project, we have three main objectives: is to amplify and extend Aquadapt learning to the wider NACA and hub community in the region through exchanges between project teams. So you have seen what are the different project teams are doing in the different countries. So including policymakers, if applicable, the private sector actors, including the farmers, and more importantly, the investors. So we need to attract investors to invest in these different nature-based solutions and innovative technologies in aquaculture. So we really have to engage private sectors along the way. So the second objective is improve understanding of stakeholders' needs, visions of, and barriers to investing in inclusive nature-based climate solutions in the aquaculture system. And the third is to collaborate with the Aquadapt partners and program to better integrate socially inclusive NBS into the hub's development and aquaculture innovation and investment activities. So this project, which will run from this year up to the third quarter of next year, the activities will be centered on laying the groundwork and enhancing the hub's capacity for knowledge brokerage so that it can support the transformation of aquaculture systems in the region. There are basically two main activities in this project. One is the National Innovation and Investment Baselines, which the participating countries will be undertaking in the next 1 year, at most 1 year. And we have also a part of the activity is the private sector engagement, including private sector scoping, which will be facilitated mostly by Future Fish, and wherein they will try to engage the private sectors to identify private sectors that can invest in these different technologies, and to make this nature-based solutions or innovative technologies really adaptable for farmers. So just a brief detail for the different objectives. For objective 1, we will craft a solid framework, engagement strategy, GESI methodologies for knowledge brokering, which C and the SEI group will be talking about later, data management plan, and purposeful communication and active stakeholder engagement, which will drive AquaDub learning across the region. So the milestones that we want to accomplish under this objective 1 is the conceptual framework and stakeholder engagement strategy. We had, of course, the inclusion of the GESI in the methodology and knowledge procuring, and the data management plan for the hub. For objective 2, NACA will partner with stakeholders in the 3 countries. So what we are doing now, so we are partnering with the government as well as the private sector from the 3 countries to create these methodologies and establish baselines for the NIP. And the piloting result will guide strategy and planning for broader Asia-Pacific countries in the future. Additionally, a private sector scoping study will develop strategies to boost nature-based climate solutions in private sector activities and investment. So these are the milestones, quite a lot. So because this is the main activity of the project in the next year. So we already identified 3 countries for national innovation and investment for NIPs, plans for NIP. And the baseline study methodology will be developed during this workshop by the teams. And the NIP baseline studies should be completed by September next year. And we will develop an updated regional guidelines by August 2025, depending on the results that we will obtain from the baseline assessment. And we will undertake a private sector scoping study methods by September 2024 and report by March 2025. For objective 3, we'll plan an inclusive nature-based climate solution innovation event for private sector entrepreneurs and startups. So this is the private sector scoping. And the project will bolster NACA's knowledge brokering capabilities within the aquaculture innovation and investment and within the hub, attracting partners and investments to expand its influence on inclusive NBS and catalyzing aquaculture system changes in the region. So we have 3 milestones, mostly for the private sector engagement and scoping. So inclusive NBS private sector innovation event, then inclusive NVS private sector innovation event learning report by June 2025, and the hub knowledge brokering future strategy by the end of September. So this is the progress. So as I've mentioned earlier, 3 country partners confirmed their participation and also in the implementation of the need baseline assessment. So we have Fiji, the Philippines, and Thailand. So focal points were officially nominated and the project team members identified. So just to present to you again, so this is for Fiji. We have Chin as the focal point, and members are Prashnil and Mr. Tawasi from the ministry, and from the private sector, we have Kata. So for the Philippines, Mr. Wilfredo Cruz is the focal point, represented by Ralph Atabay here, because they have another meeting to attend to in other countries. Of course, Mr. Sami Malvas is supposed to be here, but due to some technical difficulties, backed out in the last minute. And of course, Ms. Eliza Claire C. from the private sector. For Thailand, the focal point is Dr. Montakan Tamtin. So she's also not available and being represented by Dr. Jiraporn here because she is attending another important meeting in Malaysia. So we have Ms. Wana Tawinwan, Ms. Chanisara Potirat, and Mr. Sukasame Jarupong from the private sector. For the NACA Future Fish Project Team, so I am the principal investigator for the whole project. And we have one professional associate hired specifically to work on the project. So she will be coordinating with most of, especially with the focal points from the countries on how the project is progressing in your country. So she will communicate with most of you in the future. This is Dr. Mitra. Of course, Simon Wilkinson is serving as a part-time project coordinator. Mainly, he will be involved in data management and report submission. And we have two interns from China there, Xian Wang for gender in aquaculture and Chen Chin for aquaculture transformation. So they will be here. They just arrived, actually. Shi Chen just arrived last Monday and Xian the other week. So they will stay with NACA for 6 months for the internship and they will be assisting in the project. Of course, we have the Future Fish team headed by Mike, who is also a co-investigator of the project. We have Niran Warin, who is an Innovation and Business Development Manager, and Ms. Putzorn Chuntachorn Kunnik. She will get also involved in the project for Future Fish. So basically, that's our team, the country teams, and the NACA Future Fish team. So I hope we can work together on this project to achieve what we have specified in the different milestones that I have presented. So what could be the research impacts of this project? So the hub, knowledge brokering, will create a stronger connection among Aquaculture research teams across the region. So the NACA Future Fish team will also coordinate with the other project teams in the different countries, aside from Philippines, Fiji, and Thailand. And we will promote and accelerate aquaculture transformation in Asia Pacific through a functional ecosystem of partners among governments and the different policies, existing policies, if any, the private sectors, other relevant institutions, investors, as well as farmers. So what we can get from this project will provide subsequent actions for Aquaculture to develop its impact pathway. And the hub will strengthen partnerships, private sector engagement and investment, social balance, information sharing among relevant stakeholders to increase the Aquaculture's visibility, and to develop future strategy for the hub knowledge brokering. I think I have to end here. So we have, as I said, we have a big work to do. So most of this workshop is intended to develop methodology and guidelines for the baseline assessment. So thank you very much. And if you have some questions, clarifications, I'm here. And the team will answer.